Alright, so I was having a problem here that I wanted to share with you guys, and you can see I have 4 torque converters on the bench, all for the same vehicle. The vehicle is a 2017 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Sport with a 3.6, has the NAG1 transmission or the 722.6. Okay? Also was the first job from a new wholesale account that came recommended to me because I guess he was having problems with the previous shop he was using. So this had your typical problem of, I believe the converter probably went bad, clogged the filter, and the guy just, tried to get to where he was going and burned the transmission out. The K2 clutches were burnt, pretty bad, where I had to replace the steels. The K3 clutches were burnt. There are one-sided frictions on this particular unit. Inner and outer teeth burnt. The whole thing was just what had to get done. So overhaul the unit, put it back in the car, and then once it's done, my lead technician basically does the road testing. He puts some stuff like converter apply or graph mode, and on the PIDs in the scan tool, they have converter clutch slip, desired, and actual. So he takes it locally, he takes it on the parkway to check, make sure lockup is good and not slipping. So he's gone, road checking the car, he gets back, and he comes to me, he said, the car's no good. He said it actually set a 741 code when I was on the parkway driving. I said, what did you see? He says the converter slip, was like 300 RPM when the desired they wanted was about 20. And then I would step into it, go to 400. Said like the converter's doing nothing. I said, well, usually when you get a slip, when I see a slip that high, and plus the code was not there before. This had speed sensor codes because of the clock screen and the car stopped moving, had gear ratio error in 5th. There was no 741 code before we did the transmission. So I said, it's got to be the converter, because again, with a slip that high, it's really, unless like a seal totally broke or something like that, which on these transmissions that usually doesn't happen because of the converter seal. The pump bushing was good. The seal on the input shaft is like a hard plastic, so you stretch it out a little bit, put it on, and it closes up, and it just breaking that really can't. It's really tough to do. I've never done it. So I said, all right, no problem. I said, it's got to be the converter. I call my supplier. So one of them came from the local branch. He says, I don't have any here. I'll get you one out of the Jersey warehouse. You'll have it UPS tomorrow. I called the wholesale account, told him what was going on because we were getting ready to deliver the car, and I called him. So I says, oh, we got to hold off. I got a problem. I have to swap out a converter. Okay, no problem. The next one comes, bring it back in. Now I want to make this priority. Again, first job from a new wholesale account. Swap it out. I said it should be fine, but at this point, I have Gary, that's the lead technician. I said, can you please take it again? Let's just confirm everything is good. He said, okay, no problem. Goes on the road test, same thing he did before, because he knew exactly what he was looking at with converter slip. Comes back, he said, no good. He said, same problem. I said, same problem? I said, but it had to be a converter problem with a slip that high. And he says, well, what about valve body? I says, normally with valve bodies or solenoids, you really wouldn't see that, but I guess at this point, we have to try it. So he says, let me get it inside. He goes, I'll get the valve body out, you prepare another one, and then we'll swap it, and I'll go back again. The whole process maybe took an hour and a half. I had a core, it doesn't take long to do. Back in the car, back on the road test, comes back, same problem. Just as bad. Said pending 741 code. So I said there's something up. Now, the torque converter, inside the torque converter, there is a clutch pack. There is a piston, there's a couple of clutches, and there's a snap ring, according to research that I've done. And like you can air check a clutch pack in a transmission, like I air check before I put the transmission together, we air check the clutch packs, make sure we hear no leaks. You can air check the clutch pack in the converter. And honestly, I really never made a video on this before or anything like that because I never had to do this before. So now, we get the converter on the bench. You know, one of these is, whichever one, I don't remember which one was in there first. We hit it with the air, we're going to do it here. And I said, well, that sounded okay. He says, well, let me try to turn the converter. You know, let me hold the shaft, I'll try to turn it. I hit it again. You know, he can't turn it. Then all of a sudden, the freaking oil starts, the air and the oil squirting all over the place. And I don't even have a lot of air in there. I'm just using light air. And it's leaking like crazy. So, end result, pull the transmission out. Let's get the other converter. First, and then we compared it to the original one. This is his original core. This thing held the pressure until I removed the rubber tip. This one did not. The transmission back out, get it up the converter on the bench, same thing. We hit it once, you can hear it apply. Seems like it held it. Okay, well that seems okay, but you know, let's keep trying it. You hit it a few more times, and again, maybe the third time, the freaking oil's spilling all over the place, coming out up here. And again, not even that much air. So here is the third converter that's going to be going in this. And of course now, I air checked it before we even put it in. It's a different converter, a different brand converter, and it holds the pressure like the original one does. So, two converters from two different locations are no good. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to get a little closer. I'm going to air check here is the input shaft, and these are the rings here. All right, so this ring is not on there. I just pulled this off the shelf. And you air check through this hole, and it comes out through these holes and applies the converter clutch. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the original one first so you can kind of hear what a good one feels like. And then we'll do the other two, and then we'll do the replacement, the third one that's going to be going in this car. But I'll tell you, you know, I said right off the bat it's a bad converter. And then when the second one went in, and he comes back, he says it's the same thing. I got like a 400 RPM slip. I says, well, you know, two bad converters in a row, you know, you normally don't think you would see that. And then that's when he says, you know, let's just eliminate, because, you know, we're dealing with either a converter problem, valve body problem, or I tore this ring putting the transmission together. And I didn't tear the ring. So it's either a valve body or converter. So we did a valve body. After the second converter was in, same problem. So that's when, you know, I started air checking these things. But, you know, you never... You start second guessing yourself because you got the same problem when, you know, when I originally said it's a converter problem. So let me get a little closer, and we're going to air check this. You should hear it applied. I'll hold the rubber tip, and then you'll see what the other two do, and then we'll do the replacement. But I just wanted to share this problem. It was a 741 code. And basically what a 741 code means is the converter can no longer fully lock up. And if we were dealing with a code that would set, you know, after driving for a while, you know, maybe we're dealing with a leak in the circuit, maybe a valve body problem there, you know, and then, or maybe something like a pump bushing or something like that. But this was, you know, if you get a 741 code to set on a road test, that's bad. You know, that's a bad slipping converter. All right, so let me get a little closer and we'll start air checking these torque converters. Okay, so let's take the K2 clutch drum, which is the input shaft. And all these converters, probably with the exception of the replacement one, has oil in it. Okay, so I'm going to blow through this hole right here. I got a rubber tip. And you hear that? So the piston is applying, the clutches are applying, and it's holding the pressure. All right, so that's a good apply. All right, so now we're going to check the other two and see what those are doing. All right, so this side, this one here first. Now again, I got a good apply, maybe like the first couple of times. Well, let's see what's going to happen. But you'll see the oil coming out of this thing. Okay, so I'm going to apply this converter. All right, it didn't hold the pressure, but it was a pretty good apply. See the oil? Going right by the piston. So that's your major converter slip right there. Okay, get this out. Bring this one, rebuild converter number 2. It sounded like a good apply, but remember the other one held the pressure. This did not. And it's leaky converter number 2. Okay. Now we're going to get the replacement one, a different brand. Right, and this is going to be the one that's going in the car. Okay, that's holding it. So I remove the rubber tip. And I'm not even using a lot of air to air check it. So, 2 bad converters in a row, causing the 741 code on the road test. And again, this is a 2017 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Sport 3.6 NAG1 or 722.6 transmission. So, like I said, I've never made a video on this because I really never had to do this, but now I have a spare input shaft. I have a few of these on the shelf, but of course now I'm going to start air checking every single one of these to make sure it can hold the pressure. So here's our replacement going back in, and that should be good, and we can get this car delivered. He actually has another one for me, so we can switch them, pick it up, and get the other one done. But just real pain pulling this thing out a few times, and it's a new account, so, but I think everything's going to be okay. And we'll get this 741 code cleared once and for all. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. We'll see you next one.